Hey, it's Lindsay, y'all. It's been a while since I did a proper video, and my mental health is a big part of that, but also just nothing has really been in a good state of solidness, of consistency, and so I haven't had it in me. Sorry. Um, but I'm back, at least for now, with a new video. I wanted to talk to you about my divorce. Yay. Um, so I haven't really talked a lot about it because it has been ongoing. The separation started May 2020 when my then wife told me she wanted a divorce, and I didn't even see a a proposed settlement agreement until 3 months later. But I'll give a timeline on things. And so the reason I haven't really talked about things first and foremost is because it's been ongoing for the last almost 10 months. And so I kind of wanted to wait until I had a little bit more to talk about. And so here we are. Um, so, okay, so my divorce is theoretically finalized this week. In theory, the judge may have actually signed the decree of dissolution or whatever it is on Monday. It's just a matter of getting the paperwork back from the clerks at this point. So hopefully I'll have that in the next day or two. But yeah, so given that that's the state where things are at, I feel a little bit more comfortable talking about it. And yeah, I'm not gonna get shitty about it or things like that because I don't think it's useful. But I do have things I need to get off my chest. So here we are. Um, so yeah, May 2020, after 3.5 years of marriage, 6 years together total, and after 9 months of trying to figure things out after I had come out to my wife, we decided to call it quits. And I say she decided to call it quits. I don't hold that specifically against her. We had issues besides the fact that the straight woman found out that she was married to another woman. Neither one of us realized that when we got married. So I told her from the very start when I came out that I had to take that journey, but she didn't, and I didn't hold that against her. And I still don't in that regard. I don't. But she told me she wanted a divorce. She made it clear that, and I made it clear that I wasn't ready, but if that was what she wanted, she needed to make that 100% clear, and that was her decision. That was important to me. And she did. And she said that she wanted it to be friendly and amicable, and she wanted us to be able to stay friends. And she even said the phrase that she hoped that we could be best friends again someday. That was her words, her phrasing. And I believed it, because why not? Why wouldn't I? I didn't have a reason not to. And so we talked about staying out of each other's accounts and trying to keep the divorce as straightforward and simple as possible. She was going to get her attorney to write it up. I was going to have an attorney of my own just to CYA for me. But it was supposed to be relatively inexpensive, as it could be to have attorneys doing that. I didn't hear anything for 3 months. In that time, I bought a house, and we were working on selling our house. And so we got an offer, and so we had a date in August to sell it. And the first that I knew that anything was up, that wasn't quite what we talked about was a few days before we were supposed to close on selling our house. I got an email from my attorney saying that my ex's attorney had told her that they thought that we should put the money from the sale of the house into escrow until the divorce was finalized. That seemed odd to me because I thought we had a really straightforward plan on how we were doing this thing. And so I pushed back on it, and I reached out to my ex because at that point we were talking about things, but there wasn't a lot to talk about because we hadn't gotten the settlement agreement yet. And she told me that she was advised that she could get what she called a more equitable agreement or arrangement or settlement or whatever. So basically that was the first hint that she wasn't sticking to what we talked about. Cool. And at that point we agreed that we wouldn't talk about the divorce except through our attorneys. And then literally the day we were supposed to close on the house, that very morning, I got the settlement agreement that they were proposing, and it had a bunch of stuff in there that we didn't talk about, like her having the opportunity to take sole ownership of our dog Gizmo, which we have been splitting custody of. And it also had a 5-figure amount that she wanted to just take off the top from the money of the house. The reasoning being that she was legally entitled to money from my retirement account. And so rather than having to go through all that and crunching all the precise numbers, she just wanted to pull that money off the top from the revenue from the house, from the sale of the house, and just be done with it. I was pissed because that wasn't what we talked about at all. And she blindsided me on the day we were supposed to close down the house. So I immediately, the first thing I did was contact our realtor and say, I can't be in a room with this woman. I know we both have to sign papers to sell this house. Set us up in different rooms or at different times, whatever you have to do. I can't see her. I won't do it. So that's what we did. I went in at a different time. And so from there, that's when things changed, and we started the back and forth of trying to negotiate something. And we went back and forth 2 or 3 times over the course of the following 6 months after that, and never really found much common ground there. There were a lot of things that she seemed unwilling to even talk about and wouldn't budge on. And my attorney was telling me, well, she's never going to get this, the court's never going to allow this to go through anyway. So I don't know why she's fighting it, but okay. And so I'm feeling good about some of those things, at least. But we kept going back and forth. And I think it was in December that she finally took kind of the last thing that we presented and said, you know what, this isn't going to work. We just need to go to mediation. So okay. Which I was pissed about because I thought that we were close. And mediation is another person that we have to pay. And that's, several hours that we're also paying our attorneys, which is awesome. So just sinking more money into this thing. We've sunk so much money into this. We had to get an accountant to cover the calculations on the retirement funds, because yes, legally she is entitled to equalization from retirement funds. Legally, yes. But it wasn't what we talked about. It wasn't at all what we talked about. It was not in the spirit of being amicable and friendly and what we agreed to. So I felt very lied to and very betrayed and all of this, and it just costing more and more money. And there's a lot of details I'm not going into here because time. But so we had our mediation a couple of weeks ago. I got fucked. The things that my attorney said that we could could get, I didn't get. I got screwed out of even more money than what we had previously talked about. And let's see. We have no resolution on Gizmo. I looked over there because he's here today. No resolution on Gizmo. So if one of us decides to leave town and move away, we have to go back to mediation and pay more money to settle that if we can't come to an agreement, and I don't think we will. Let's see, what else? Oh, right. The thing that the courts would have never allowed was I'm still the co-signer on her student loans because we refinanced them last January in 2020. She could refinance them at any time with a co-signer, her parents. She claims that her parents are not viable as co-signers. I question if she even asked them, if she even bothered. But at this point, I'm still a co-signer on her loans. Yeah, divorced, still co-signer. There's a lot of language in the agreement that makes me not liable up to a point. But if she's got to keep life insurance and keep me as a beneficiary. So if she dies, I have the money to pay it off. She has to keep money in an account so that if she loses her job and she can't pay it, that she can pull from that so that she doesn't miss a payment. After that, then she has to dip into her retirement money so that she doesn't miss a payment. Because here's the thing, as long as she keeps up her payments, she can take me off as co-signer after 36 continuous months of payments. Well, that's still 2 more years. So the other part of the agreement is that she has to try to refi every 6 months and provide documentation that it was approved or not. So I could be off of there in 6 months. It could be 2 years. Or if she screws something up and doesn't make a payment, it could be even longer. Or if she gets disabled, or she dies in a way that her insurance doesn't pay out, I'm stuck with it. I'm stuck paying those very, very high student loans. And I'm real pissed about it. It's just like everything that I was told, like that'll never fly in court, or this is a thing that we've got working in our favor. All of it negated in mediation. So why did I agree to it? Because if it went to court, I'm probably going to get even more screwed because I make a lot more money than she does. And the courts often favor the person who is making less money. And there's a new judge coming in because the old judge is retiring, but they don't know who the new judge is going to be. So like the attorneys don't know how to gauge what the response is going to be like. And it's still going to be several more months, if not even next year again, before we get this all resolved. And it's going to be all that much more money we're spending on attorneys. So I can be screwed now or more screwed later. So I agreed to it. And I spiraled a little bit after that, to be completely honest. I hit a really low place with my mental health. Really low. Because it felt really hopeless and helpless and lied to, manipulated. I still do. I'm not in that low place anymore, but I could go back to it. We'll see. I don't have the paperwork back yet saying the divorce is final. I imagine when I do, I'll have big feels. Because this is obviously a very complicated thing. We were together for 6 years. She was important to me. We had a lot of good times. We had a lot of really not good times too. And this last almost 10 months has been rough. We will not be friends, just to be clear. We will definitely never be best friends. But I'm pissed that we can't be friends. I'm pissed that she did all of that. because I genuinely believed her when she said that's what she wanted. And we have a lot of common friends. Over, 6 years, we kind of merged some of our friend groups and there was overlap, and I met some amazing people through her. She met some great people through me. And we're not doing the thing where like, you have to pick a side or anything like that. Some people it feels like they have. Other people's are not. I'm certainly not asking any of my friends to pick a side, and I would never expect that of them. But I do kind of hate seeing when my friends have a Facebook post and my ex says something on them. Like, one of my friends just got her second COVID vaccination shot and she's feeling like crap from it, because that seems to be a pretty common trend for a lot of people. And my ex, like, put a comment on there like, hey, if you need anything, let me know. And I'm just like, I want to shake her a little bit and be like, no, that's my friend. And I'm not saying that because I want my friends to like choose me over her or anything. It sucks. Like, I cannot get the proper separation. I can't even get the separation and closure that I want because of the student loan thing and because of the lingering shit with Gizmo. And but like, she's going to be there because we have common friends too. And it sucks. Like, I just kind of want her out of my life. And I want to move on. And I am moving on. I am most definitely moving on. But not as well as I would hope. Not as well as I would like. Not as completely as I would like. And it sucks. Yeah. So anyway, that's the kind of the latest on the divorce. I'm like, anytime something comes up where it's like, it might get a little bit, I don't know, it feels like maybe she's getting what's coming to her. Like, I'm that petty person. And I'm like, good. Like, there's something coming up that I think she's going to get screwed on a little bit financially. And I'm happy about it because I got screwed financially. Like, she's still not going to get screwed as bad as I did. And it's not like her getting screwed is going to benefit me in any way. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm not a shitty person. I'm not a bad person, but you can only get kicked so many times by somebody before you kind of enjoy it when you see them get kicked once or twice. Maybe I am a bad person. I don't know. But anyway, that's where my divorce has landed. So it'll be done soon. I'll have the paperwork done. I can go adjust some documents and things once I've got that done, and that'll be good. And I really can just kind of try to move on with my life as best I can and pretend like she doesn't exist where I can. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's what I wanted to talk about. So, yeah, if you have any comments or questions or, I don't know, like stories from your own divorce that you want to share, by all means, share in the comments. I would love to hear it. So anyway, that's kind of it for now. Hopefully I'll get back into a regular routine of making these videos. If there's things you want to hear about, things you want me to talk about, please let me know. I'm happy to do it. Happy to talk. You know me. I'll talk about whatever. Just, I need to know what to talk about. But yeah, that's it for now. So until next time, as always, love and hugs.